Hey y'all, welcome to another video for going through TryHackMe rooms. Today I'm going through the Linux Fundamentals Part 2 TryHackMe room, and it was interesting. It was interesting. So the videos are back in this one. There's a video in here. John is taking us through the part two Linux fundamentals try hack me room here. And this was the target machine information from this room. So task one's pretty straightforward. Introduction. You're encouraged to review part one. And then we move on to deploying machine information, and then also starting the attack box. So that is in this task. And then we start going through excuse me. Task 3 is introduction to flags and switches. So if you're going back to 2 for a second, if you're going to use the video to follow along like I do, make sure that you pause the video and wait for your machine to load because it takes a minute. So going back to task 3, introduction to flags and switches. Pretty straightforward so far here. You just kind of learn and follow with the video. The H flags. So there's a question here down at the bottom about human readable. Don't get that mixed up with the uppercase H, which is dereference the command line. So just wanted to kind of make that note there. And then task 4. So moving on to task 4. Let's see, looks like pretty straightforward here. Let me see, this is the remove and copying. Okay, so RM is removing files, and the R flag is used with RM to remove a directory. So that's all in here. Let me see. Also, this task goes through copying and moving. Okay, I took notes here. Hold on, I'm trying to kind of think about what I was referring to in this one. So is it this one? I think with this one, as you're going through and removing and moving, is copy in here too, or move? I believe so. As you're going through and copying and removing, just remember that I want to say that if you move a file to another folder, you may not be able to copy it. I had trouble doing that. So try copying another folder or another file, I believe. I remember I had some issues with that. Um, so just if you're going to do copy or move, like use the same, I don't know, use a different file. I forgot what I did. I think I did something like I moved, um, okay, that's in the next one. Sorry. This was again, this room, I will definitely give my rating on this room because this room was kind of a doozy for me. Not as easy to grasp, and there was a lot of kind of confusing things, and some things didn't match up, like even with the video. For example, in task 5, there was a read, write, execute uh, diagram that was referenced in the video, but it's not in here. So I'm like, huh? Some things are just kind of not matching, not adding up. Let me see. This one, okay, so the one when I was talking about moving and copying, that wasn't the previous one. Um, so going back to this one, let me see. Yeah, so when you're going and you're kind of messing around with the, um, let me see. Yes, remove, copy, and all of these. Don't move my file. Don't move it because it's being referenced in here in one of the questions. Um, and I did this to play around just to kind of like move, like I did a copy of, I believe, Note or My File or one of them. I think it was Note I did. And then I moved my file to my folder. And then when I tried to go back and copy it, or no, do the cat, excuse me. Okay, so you have to use there's a command that's, I just said it, that's referenced in the video that one of the questions asks. That's the contents of the file. You have to get the contents of the file um, to get the flag to answer to answer this question. What are the contents of the file, of my file? So what happened was I moved it to my folder, just playing around, getting practice in. And then when I typed in cat, my file, it couldn't be, I couldn't find it. And then there's kind of no like reference or help in regards to that or any context. And as a matter of fact, CAT was not even mentioned in this task. So I kind of had to like use the video, luckily, and then do outside research. But even with trying to get the flag, to get the contents of my file, I couldn't do it because I had moved it. So don't do that. Don't move any files. Just, I don't know how you're supposed to move and kind of practice if then you're not able to complete other uh, questions. So that was kind of weird to me. So I just basically paused the video and just typed out the flag there to move on. Um, so that was that. So yeah. And then the next one, let me see, task 5. Yeah, here we go. This one here. Okay, so this one I also wanted to note too. Um, I really wish there was more guided practice. This is for Switch user or yeah, for the SU and -L commands. I was trying to actually practice a little more on the machine, and I was a little confused on how to do the commands for these for is it the next one? Okay, common directories. It's the next one. I was a little bit confused on how the etc. variable root etc. temporary. I was a little confused on how to input these in the command line. So I wish there was more guidance for that. And John specifically said that, for practice, he wasn't going to go over, and he kind of wanted people to, he wants us to kind of go over it on its own, on our own. But for me, I kind of wish I had at least a little bit of guidance, or I could have like watched, like seen something in the video to kind of get some context as, okay, what am I doing? Because I couldn't figure it out. So I will have to ask my professor about that, which I think I did already. And there's conclusions and summaries, easy. And then moving on to part three. So overall, this room, honestly, I give it a 6 out of 10, maybe even a five. It was just, it was just, it was kind of a lot to decipher. And I wish that, some things kind of lined up a little bit better, and there was more practice or context with this. So just, I guess maybe a little more user, like beginner friendly versus not so much. I don't know. Maybe because this is part two, possibly as well. So definitely go back and review part one before doing part two. Maybe that will help. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.